KWN TV. It's now about 16 minutes after the hour. It is a Thursday morning. Those who are watching on television, you can already tell who's in the studio. Dade County Executive Ted Rumley with a government update that we do every Thursday morning. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing fine here. And good news out of the Surgeon General earlier this morning on the Fox Network. Thanking the American people that the sheltering in place and the distancing, staying the 6 feet apart, is showing a significant impact with the decrease of deaths across the country. That's some great news.
Yeah, that's good, and and that's what we try to relay to the people here in our county and our tri-state area. It really seems to be. I mean, that among other things, they seem to be following the guidelines of the recommendations. So it's a good thing. We did, as I said yesterday, we did have another confirmed case. Dade County has one more, not today, but yesterday. Hopefully we won't have any more today. But the other, overall, the counties that join us, and us too, for the population comparative, we're doing really well because the other counties, they did stay the same yesterday. And we did talk a little bit about this yesterday. Walker County had 4 the day before, but they pulled 1 from Walker, and then we wound up with 1 confirmed case. So we're looking into that to see if possibly that what the deal was there, because it could have been, like I said, it could have been close to the county line or whatever. That was kind of odd that happened. And also, I think it was Squatchy County. They had 1 that they dropped too. Yesterday we noticed that they went down 1. So so anyway, but all in all, we just appreciate everyone doing what they're doing, and we've got another several weeks of this. As a lot of you know out there, they listened to the governor yesterday. He's actually extended this on into April 30th, the shelter in place. That was 2 different things. His authority or his power was granted back to him and given him more. His authority was moved up, but then
that was May the 13th.
That was May the 13th. And a lot of people thought that this ended May the 13th, but then he immediately went ahead after that, and actually he extended this shelter in place all the way to April 30th. So it will not be ending, that early to go.
Yeah, all the way it was scheduled on Easter night.
That's right.
Like at midnight to stop.
Sunday,
but it's going to continue for a couple more weeks until the end of the month. Yeah. And we're going to play that for those of you watching on television. That'll be coming up right after this program. That we're going to have the governor's address. There was a lot of questions. He took questions from the press, and of course you'll be able to hear his full press conference yesterday afternoon, talking about all the things for the entire state.
That's true. And from what I understand, he didn't really go into this in his speech, but I think he was asked by reporters. But as we talked about the last few days, he's had a lot of concern from counties that have state parks in their counties about at least closing them down till April 30th. And as of yesterday, this is from what I understand, he's going to leave them open, but he is considering, from what I understand, Jeff Mullis and I had a conversation about yesterday, possibly doing that as far as the closing. So we'll see how that goes, and and because we still feel strongly that he needs to, as most all the commissioners do that have state parks in their counties.
Well, one of the things he did mention yesterday, in listening to the press conference that we carried on radio and TV, I hope everyone got a chance to see it. And once again, it'll be coming up on television, is the fact that he's monitoring this and gets reports every day from all the state parks and the beaches.
That's true.
So he's, I think they're really eyeing to make sure that they're following the guidelines, and that's, I guess, really all you want people to do, whether they're out in the parking lot or wherever they're at, is to follow the distancing 6 feet and the social guidelines.
Well, the social guidelines is one thing, but what we're concerned with as county commissioners and as county leaders is the actual the traffic itself out in our county. The containment of the park's one thing, but when you've got these people coming from out of state that are really they're from sheltered counties. I mean, sheltered states themselves. A lot of them, you know, when they go out and into our grocery stores and outside the park, that's a big concern of ours too. Is actually, you know, going out and mingling into the county and possibly bringing it out to our people. You know, bringing it into our people. So. That's a big something I really have a problem with. I know most of the people show concern with that, and so you know, we're looking. You know, if he actually just firmly says, okay, you know, we're not closing these parks, you know, period, then we're looking legally. You know, that actually the sheriff has agreed to help us on this. We can't refuse Georgians going into that park because he actually has told the Georgians, even though they're under a shelter, that they and stay at home, you have a right to travel across state and go to your state parks, which, you know, kind of contradicted, you know, one thing that, you know, than what he said as far as staying at home. So that I feel that we have a right to actually place a person up there. That is a county road going into that park, and we can turn sheltered states around and say, go back home, go home to your state where you're supposed to be. You know, you're sheltered. Now, you know, I'm having Robin looked at today, but we're going to see what we need to do on that. But and from what I understand, he's not firmly said he's not closing the parks. You know, that's what right now. And honestly, before we do that, I'll have a phone conversation with him and explain to him exactly what how we feel about it and what we're going to do. You know, some of the counties that I talked to, a lot of them, they do not own the road going into the park. That's actually a state road and the state highway going to it. So that's something the counties can't do, but there's a few of them that do control the road. You know, it is a county owned and maintained road. So, but we'll keep you up on that, on what we're doing on that.
Well, I know that on the last couple of days, especially over the weekend, where they had the problems the first couple of weekends of this, you've been monitoring the park and said that, you know, he's done restrictions on all state parks at 150 cars, and they brought in additional DNR agents to police that, if you will.
True.
And you said this past weekend it was actually a whole lot better.
Oh, it was different. It was totally. It was. They averaged around 90 cars, I think, Saturday, and about 80, 85 on Sunday. And the DNR was present out there. You know, the law enforcement, and it was different. It was different. They were still a tremendous amount of out of state, sheltered state cars there though. Florida cars, New York cars, you know, and so that's what we're looking at. I mean, it's just something that, and it may be something that we don't do. We may feel, but we'll cross that bridge as we do, and because we're just trying to do what's right for Dade County, you know, because we've got to protect our people and take care of our people.
Anything else that you know? Of course, it seems like that more and more people are wearing the cloth mask as they go into the grocery stores and go to the drug stores and convenience stores, and that is recommended. It's not mandatory, but it is recommended by the CDC to be able to do that. There's new guidelines out today from the CDC recommending different ways. Before, if you had been within 6 feet of someone that had tested positive, you had to go shelter in place yourself for 14 days.
Sure.
But now they've loosened that restriction and giving guidelines to employers to let those folks go back to work, but they've got to maintain the temperature checks and the things like that.
Yeah, that's true. And that's that, like you said, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended by the CDC, and that's something you need to really listen to and try to do. You know, I mean, another thing I want to bring up too, before we forget it, I mentioned yesterday that we've got a meeting this morning with the lineman people that own the lineman school, and as to when they feel that they should bring the class back in as far as their summer class, and we're going to meet with them at 10 o'clock on a virtual meeting. We're not going to be in a room, but we're going to actually be, I think there'll be 6 of us online, maybe 7. And to a lot of people who don't know, that's a big deal, because that's 250 men and women that come into this county from all over the country. You know, sometimes all over the world, but And so that's a big deal. Had a lot of people, several people call, and back when they were still here, worried, because they were seeing these out-of-state tags everywhere. Which you do that. Anybody that's not noticed that they don't get out and don't get out of the house. But so we're going to have a talk with them. They're going to explain their strategy and their plan, and see if we can all agree. And it's going to be later on. I mean, it's going to be. From what I understand, it'll be on toward the end of May, maybe even 1st of June, and a lot can happen between now and then. We'll just see.
Well, yeah, that would be outside the emergency order.
It would be.
So I mean, and they may shorten that emergency order as well as things hopefully continue to level off and improve.
True.
Commissioner, we got a couple of minutes here.
Okay.
I did want to go a little bit into discussion of what an emergency declaration actually means for the state when the governor continues that state of emergency through May the 13th.
Yeah.
It gives local governments and cities and the counties access to state resources that you may not normally be able to access.
That's true. And also, not only that, I mean, which that's big because it really, it's just like when any disaster hits, tornadoes or whatever. But it also helps these people that are shut down to visit. It gives them a better leverage, call it what you want, to go out and file, for their the aid that they deserve. In other words, that right there is a big thing because. When you're under a declaration like that, and say you're forced to shut down, which a lot of these people are, it's non-essential. They need help, and it just makes it. A lot of times it streamlines those applications, and it makes it a lot easier for those people to receive those needed benefits, and also the as far as unemployment and all that stuff, they tend to streamline it during a declaration of emergency. So
that is definitely great news here. 3 o'clock we'll have another live update. We'll carry it on radio and TV this afternoon.
Okay.
And of course we do thank you for coming in and giving us.
And we also will be having tomorrow will be the county offices as you've been running. They're closed tomorrow, but now we will have our 3 o'clock briefing right on through. Like I said, we'll have
the transfer station.
And the transfer station will be open at the normal hours, But
all right, we got about 30 seconds. Give us your phone number. I know you always like.
Yeah, it's 423-667-8999 or 657-4625, and that's our office number. Or you can go online there, and all the commissioners' numbers are there. Everyone's there. We're here to help you, and I want you to know, call anytime, and we'll try to be there for you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Once again, we'll be live with them at the Dade County Commission office this afternoon, both on radio and television this morning. If you missed the governor's update press conference with all